Hi everyone, thank you for watching and welcome back to my channel. Oh my god, you guys, I just want to get into the story real fast because I have a whole bunch of kind of paranormal activity for you. As I was filming this specific story time, things started happening. Now this story is about paranormal activity in my home. At one point there was nothing else in my house to what I thought until like now that I was like filming this little story. Like it started, things started happening. You'll see it as you watch the video. That was kind of weird. I'm just still like, you know, I'm still like trying to like wrap my head around it. But yeah, you guys, this was a time that when I saw that my son was being bothered by like a specific energy, spirit, or whatever. And yeah, you guys, I experienced this for real. This is not something I would play around with, especially because that's my son. But yeah, I experienced this and I want to share this with you because it was something really creepy and it happened here in this home. So yeah, guys, without further ado, I hope you guys really enjoyed the story, and please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know any requests you might have. I am listening. So you guys enjoy the story. Okay, guys. Sorry, guys, because my mom brought tamales and of course. Alright, so I'm gonna get ready while I tell the story like always, just because I have to go to work after this, but I really love doing this, so we'll be doing that. Alright, let's get started. By the way, for the few of you guys that asked, no, that candle's not up there because I'm scared. That candle's a special meaning between me and God. So no, it's just an agreement I had with him. It's not because I'm scared. Like that's not gonna make it any better. Like, you know, well, I mean, it's not that I'm not gonna make it any better. It's just that if an energy is gonna come, it's gonna come, and that's it. Like regardless, you just have to be strong enough to show it away. Anywho, this specific event took place about, I want to say about 7 years ago, because my son is exactly 7 now, and he was months old when that happened. He was about 1 year old, so maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and it took place in this house. Guys, I'm gonna be doing the same makeup routine as my 10-minute glam, which is on my channel already if you want to check it out. Same thing, so I don't have to go over the stuff, okay? And get straight to the story. So my son was about 1 year old, maybe less, maybe about 1 year old. He was because he was small enough to be in one of those little I forgot what they're called, but you know those little cars that you put them in that they could be wandering around the whole house. I forgot what it's called. In Spanish it's called andadera. So he used to have one of those cars themed, and he will be going around all crazy or whatever. And that's why I know he was like 1 year old. And so what had happened was just the fact that I'm gonna like tell this story, like, and it happened in this house, is like kind of creepy, and it's just like, really, do you really want to do this? Because you can literally call that energy back in, and it can be all my fault for talking about it, but whatever. I'm not scared, you know. Funny things have been happening lately ever since I started talking about things that happen, but ain't no one scared. In fact, I'm more scared of human beings alive than of ghosts and energies, please. So my son was about 1 year old, and he couldn't talk, of course, at that time. He didn't speak yet. And what had happened was I had gone over to my friend's house, and my friend had already told me, at that time she was my friend slash co-worker, because it was at the time where I used to work at the restaurant, and my friend had already told me that paranormal things happen in her house. Like, she had already told us a few stories, which maybe I'll get to by the end of the video, but because they were pretty creepy. And so she had already told me, but I mean, I never really hung out at her house because I've never been the type of person that's always hanging out in people's houses. Like it really takes a lot. Like, it has to be like you have a party going on or something for me to go on, and even then, like, I hardly go to parties. This specific day, I really forgot what I had gone over to her house for. Like, I really don't remember why I was at her house, but she had a whole bunch of like fruit trees, and she had an orange tree, and her orange tree was giving out oranges like crazy. Like, I'm saying, like, she was giving them out in bags for like to everyone, because like her tree just went wild and it was just giving orange, because her parents knew how to take care of it. Her dad is business owner of I don't know what's it called, but those people that take care of, you know, your yard and all that stuff. Like they have their own business going on, and so her dad knew exactly what to do to nourish those trees and make the best out of them. So this tree literally was like just giving, like, you know, just growing oranges like no other. So she gave me this huge bag of oranges, right? And I brought it home, didn't think anything of it. No, I had already heard this before, and this is one of the reasons why I kind of stopped buying vintage items at thrift stores, because they say that something could be attached to it that you have no idea about, and you pretty much bring it to your home, right? So, I mean, it's a saying, you know, like, I don't know how true that is, but I mean, I believe it. It could be true. There's unfortunately sometimes certain spirits or bad energies or good energies or whatever you want to call it, or whatever it is, do attach themselves to something. Like we already know of dolls being possessed and whatnot because they attach themselves to it, you know, and it could be true. You bring it home to your house, you know, you don't even know. So she gave me a bag of I was gonna say a bag of trees, a bag of oranges, and I brought it home. I didn't think anything of it. I brought it home. And so I came home, I brought the oranges and I put them down somewhere. I really don't remember. And the next morning, I remember I had dropped off my husband to work, and I came back and decided I want to take another little nap. I was tired because God knows that you become a mom, you'll never get your sleep again, ever. And I mean ever, okay? And so my son, I put my son in his little cart thingy. Let me Google what the hell the name of that thing, because I don't want to be saying cart thingy. Freaking walker, you guys. Wow, it's a walker. That's what it's called. So I put my son in his walker, and he was roaming between my room and my mom's room. He was just roaming, and I could like, it's like those you're not really taking a nap. You're just resting because you really can't go to sleep while your child is not sleeping, because like it's just an instinct. Like you really can't go to sleep. Like you can't fall asleep knowing your child is like, you know, wandering around. So I was between sleep and between, like, you know, being awake. So I remember that I would hear like the little wheels or whatnot going around, and then out of nowhere I heard like not his normal little pace, but like when you drag him, like when you drag the walker, like, you know, the sound of the little wheels going fast. And I was like, and I see him in my door, and I was like, oh, I'm like, my mom pushed him out of his room. Like, my mom is not like that. Like, I don't know why that was my first thought, because my mom is not one of those. Like, if she's not, she's just one of those unbothered people that she just wouldn't do that. But that's the first thought that came to my head, because that was the logical explanation, right? Like, my mom dragged him out of her, like pushed him out of the room because he was probably, I don't know, about to knock something out, or he didn't let her sleep or something. I don't know. That was my first thought. And I was like, oh, okay, like she just pushed him out. Okay, no problem. Yeah, that's just whatever. He's, you know. And I remember I was like zoning out again. So, and I hear it again. And I was like, okay. And now I remember I got up and I closed the door. I'm like, okay, you're not getting out of my room. Like, you're just gonna wander around my room. So when we finally got up in the morning, I was having coffee with my mom, and I forgot how the subject came up, but I was like, oh mom, I'm sorry, like I heard my baby you know, bugging you, you know. And then she was like, no, he wasn't bugging me. And I was like, oh, I clearly heard you like pushing his walker out. She goes, I didn't push his walker out. I'm like, yeah, like 2 times. She goes, no. She goes, I thought you dragged him out because you thought he was bothering me, and then you closed the door. And I was like, no. I was like, I got up to close the door because I heard his walker being dragged 2 times. So I closed the door because I thought you had pushed him out, and that's why I got up to close the door, so he wouldn't bother you anymore. Now, again, we want to find the logical explanation to everything, right? We don't want to be thinking creepy, okay? We don't want to be thinking it's anything paranormal, out of the normal. So what are our chances? And it's like, well, Maria, easy. You just said your child was on the walker. He could have easily pushed himself off the floor or something, or off something. Okay, you guys, I can't even talk of how nervous I got. As I'm trying to tell a story, my camera just started like overheating out of freaking nowhere. Like out of nowhere. Okay, you got me using over here the AC to cool down because I don't know what the heck is going on. Like I don't know why it doesn't do this usually when I'm recording. I don't know, you guys, but anyways. Okay, like I said before, when shit like this happens, you want to find a logical explanation for it. You don't want to think it's anything out of the norm. You don't want to think your first thought doesn't want to be that it's anything paranormal, right? Okay, so what are the odds? I don't know, Maria, you just said your child is on a walker. Maybe he pushed himself off the floor or something and just like, I don't know, for fun and giggles, you know? The thing is, you guys, that at that time my son was barely, I think he was almost 1 year old or barely 1 year old, something like that. And I remember that we used to cap on him because he hardly reached the floor. Like we would kind of like make jokes and stuff like that. Not make fun of him, but like, you know, we would always laugh and stuff like that. It was just funny to us how he had to be tippy-toeing, and he tried to come to us so fast that it was just funny seeing him like try to like really, you know, go at it tippy-toeing. So I know as a fact he did not reach the floor enough to be able to push himself off. I know for sure. I know his little tiny legs weren't long enough to like push himself off, like, I don't know, a shelf or the wall to drag himself like that, like to push himself like that, and with that force too. It sounded like when you literally come and you just grab him and drag him, like you want to drag him or something. Like it, I know what I heard. And so again, you want to try to find a logical explanation to all of this, correct? So I tried, but again, I didn't have any proof. Nothing had ever happened before that, so I didn't want to think it was anything paranormal. But when my mom told me that it wasn't her, what the hell am I supposed to think? You know? So I didn't let that slide, or I didn't really forget about it, but I put it on standby, right? Like, okay, that's an event that happened and I need to figure it out, but I can figure it out now. So, okay. You guys, the freaking speaker just turned on by itself right now. I don't even want to go. Did you hear that? Tell me you heard that. Tell me you heard that. I swear to God, I am not doing anything. The only one that uses that is my husband. Because I don't even know how to use it. I'm not a high-tech person. I already know how to freaking edit videos. And it's only connected to his Bluetooth, I think it is. I'm telling you. Oh, it's crazy. I'm really trying to finish the story, you guys. It's not gonna stop me. Anyways, I put the situation on standby because I didn't have any logical explanation for it, nor did I ever had experienced anything before that. So it's not like I had history where I can be like, yeah, weird shit always happens here anyway, so probably, right? Okay. Now, that was mild, you guys. That was mild. I didn't care because I've heard of these things before happening. I've heard of sometimes you can bring something in and you don't even know. So I didn't think anything of it because for me, that was just harmless, right? I mean, now that I think of it, I should take that back because he did, like, whatever this was, he dragged my son, right? Okay, so maybe I shouldn't have thought it was harmless. Now, it was all shits and giggles until I saw the following. I was minding my own business as per usual. And I was gonna change my son's diaper, and it was I know it was hot because he was wearing a onesie, like those little white onesies that every little newborns plus month-olds have on, because it's like the easiest thing to do because all you have to do is like not unclick it, but button it and unbutton it when you're gonna change the little diaper and whatnot. Okay, so I was gonna change his diaper, and I remember he was wearing a white onesie. And as I was changing his diaper, I noticed that he had scratches, one on his rib and one on his stomach. Now, let's look at the odds. JD's lashes. Let's try to find the logical explanation to this. He's a baby. Babies scratch themselves all the time. All the stinking time. The problem is, you guys, that precisely because babies scratch themselves all the time, his nails were always short. Short, filed, everything. Okay? And usually babies scratch themselves in their face. If I do know so myself, he usually had scratches around his nose area because he did it himself. He had a onesie on. We never had him in just diapers. Like, he had his full-on onesie, okay? Logical explanation is he's a toddler. He did it himself. But I know so that he didn't. Because, like I said, he had a onesie plus he had his nails always super short. Now, it could have been, well, Maria, maybe this is just this one time. Sure. Let's say this one time he had his nails long. Okay, let's just say this one time I let his nails grow. How the hell is he gonna scratch himself when he has a onesie on and he's barely months old? Like, he's almost a year old. Like, no way. Like, there's no way he's gonna lift his little onesie. He's gonna do one. Like, no way. And you know what? Not that I remember, he wasn't even 1 year old. I think he was about 8 months. Yeah, he was like about 7 to 8 months. That's why we had him in the little walker thing, because he couldn't walk. So there is no logical explanation to this. Like, there is no logical explanation to this. So as soon as I saw those scratches, you guys, well, I completely blacked out. I couldn't remember a thing. It wasn't until later, in the moment that I caught myself cussing whatever this thing was, that I realized what had really happened. So whatever this thing was, I don't know what it really was. Now, as far as I know, in the house there's a spirit of a little girl. That's the most I know. That's the most they've seen, and that's the most information they ever gotten, because their kids in that house had already not suffered, but like they had already done tricks to them, and I'll get to those in a minute. So whatever this thing was, you guys, I lost my shit. I lost it. I started cussing it. I started telling it off, and I just remember the specific words that I said. I said, I don't give up. F what you are. You can be a demon yourself. You can be the devil yourself. I don't care what you are. I will go to hell if I have to, and I will come for you. You leave my child alone, because this blah blah blah. Like, I started cussing. I remember I started cussing it out. I freaking looked like a crazy lady right there, just talking to herself. Like, I remember I cussed that thing out. And then I remember I also went to get like, I told my mom, and I remember she's like, we have to get holy water, you know, because my mom's very she's very religious. So she's like, we have to get holy water. So we went to church and we got some holy water, and I remember she sprayed like the corners and she started praying and whatnot. And I was like, if this doesn't go, I'm gonna have to bring a priest or something. I'm gonna have to figure a way out, but I have to get it out. Like, he not only, whatever this thing is, not only dragged my child, my months old, you know, my toddler, but whatever this thing is there to scratch him, and he can't talk. Like, he can't tell me anything. If he sees it, he can't tell me anything. That's just, oh, like, everything was fine until whatever it was messing with my kid. You know, everything was fine, and it's one of those things where maybe you won't stand up for yourself at a certain point or with certain things, but when it's your child, no, nobody's messing with your kid. Nobody is messing with your kid. So after that, after I cursed it out and my mom brought holy water and whatnot, did you hear that? What the hell was that? That's my son's phone, by the way. Yes, he has a phone. If there's a being in my house that is not of light and love, you leave now, because you are not welcome in my home. I'm gonna show you so you can, there's nothing, let me see if there's any apps open. There's apps open, but there's nothing that could possibly make such noise. And I'm gonna show you just so you can see. This is my son's phone. This is what he usually watches. His little YouTube and whatnot. Oh, it opened blank, but let me open it again. What the fudge, man? What is this black thing? Oh, Asphalt 8. I think it's a race car game or whatever. Like, I'm just trying to show you guys that there's no way in the world. That sounded odd. I'm gonna go back right now and listen to it. But that sounded so odd. What is this? A message? Oh, never mind. Oh, it's... Oh, no, but this is from October 25th. Like, there's no... I was gonna say, oh, a message came in. But, first of all, his phone doesn't have service. Because we connect him to the Wi-Fi here in the house. And we give him hotspot. So, he doesn't have messaging or anything. It's just... He only uses, like, for the purpose of YouTube, internet. So he doesn't have messages. I saw a message, but it's from mom. And you're going to see right here. It's October 25th. Like, I was like, oh, it's probably like a message. Like, what the hell was that, you guys? What the hell was that? I'm going to finish it. I'm going to finish it. Sometimes they don't want you to talk about it. Like, that's just... I've heard this before. Like, I've watched other bloggers, and I've heard this before. Sometimes they don't want you to watch this freaking, like, all this get lost. Watch all this footage get lost. Because it's happened to other bloggers before. Like, other spooky bloggers before. Guys, I'm, like, freaked out. I just can't wrap my head around it. Anyways, I'm gonna keep going. Where did I leave off? Shit, I got caught out of, like, I can't even talk. I was caught off guard. So nothing paranormal other than the right now ever happened again after that. Now, I had to tell my friend what happened because I'm like, hey, I don't want to make you feel bad, but I think I might have brought something into my home when you gave me those oranges. Now, mind you, she had not just freshly cut those oranges, put in a bag, and give them to me. She had those bags of oranges laying around because she was giving them away. So, yeah, it could have been that something might have attached itself to it before she gave me those oranges. Like, you know, you're taking something from my house. Like, no, I'm coming with it kind of thing, you know? Like, I've heard of that stuff before, but I've never experienced it, so it's not that I want to believe it. It's just that, okay, I've heard of that before. When I say the noisiest cars and trucks are passing by right now when I'm filming, like, I mean it. And I'm so, like, irritated right now. I'm trying to, like, all this freaking paranormal shit happening right now, plus these guys, like, don't fucking let me, like, finish my shit. God damn it, man. I genuinely want to apologize. I lost my shit for a bit. Sorry. You guys had to see that. I don't know. I just don't know what to think. Like, nothing had ever happened again until, like, now that I'm bringing the story up again. But again, this is not going to stop me. I'm going to keep going. So I had told my coworker the events that had occurred in my home, and I'm like, I'm not trying to say something came, or you know, like, I'm not trying to say it's because you gave me those oranges, but I feel like something got attached to it, and I might have brought it to my home accidentally without me knowing. Thankfully I was able to, like, shoo it away, whatever it was. Nothing has happened again, but you know, just want. And then she starts telling me, oh yeah, I did, you know, I did forget to tell you. And I was like, oh great, story time, right? Now that everything happened, like, oh, now you have something to tell me, right? She goes, you know, I told you that weird things have had happen in my home. I'm like, yeah. She goes, okay, so this specific thing specifically likes to mess around with the kids. And I was like, why don't you tell me anything? Like, maybe it wasn't such a great idea for me to take anything from your house, you know, because you just never know. And she goes, well, would you have thought though? I'm like, well, yeah, I wouldn't have thought that something could come along. Like, that's true, you know? So she starts telling me how one time, because her mom babysit, I don't know if she still does now. They moved out of the house, by the way. I don't know if she still babysits now, but that's how her mom got her little income in. She babysat. other people's kids, within family though. It was her cousin's kids, her sister's kids, and then her kids herself, you know. And so, you know, she had a routine for them: breakfast time, snack time, nap time, bath time, or whatnot. It was bath time for all of them, and she had them in the little gate, kind of like the Rugrats, in the little gate. So she had sat my friend's daughter down already, and she took the other two little boys, while the bigger boys were playing outside. So she took the other two little ones because she was going to bathe them too. And they were little brothers, so she was going to bathe them together. So she left my friend's little daughter in the in that little gate thing on her own, because it's a gate, like it's a baby gate, you know, like that's what it's for. And when she comes back from bathing the boys, my friend's little daughter has a whole bunch of just sand all over her. Like if somebody came with a little bucket and just poured, like a little kid, you know, like little kids come with buckets and just pour on your head when you were little, whatever, if you didn't, you know, when you played sand and whatnot. So she comes, who poured dirt on Bailey? Let's call her Bailey, because I don't want to say child's name here. On little Bailey. Nobody. The two boys were like, you know, obviously the first suspects were the two little bigger boys over there, and they had no idea. Like they were over there playing in the swings and whatnot. And then she goes and confronts them about it. She goes, did you guys do this? And they're like, no. And they're like, are you sure? And they're like, no. Now like, again, we want to look at the odds, right? She starts, you know, she sees their hands or whatever. They don't have, usually when you gather a whole bunch of dirt, there's dirt in your nails, right? They didn't have any dirt in the nails. When you were coming with so much sand, you have to leave some kind of trail on the floor. Like, come on, they're kids, they're messy, they're children. Like, they're not just gonna, like, you know. Now she checked their little hands or whatever, and to see if they had dirt in their fingernails. They didn't have any dirt. Now you're bringing in that much dirt to pour on someone, you have to leave some kind of trail on the floor, I don't know, somewhere. There was no trail of dirt anywhere. It's like if someone came clean with a bucket and just poured it on her. Okay, so that was weird, right? Okay, so they just kind of brushed it off, like, okay, it was probably the boys, no problem. All right, so they brushed that off. Now, as in kids events, I'm not aware of what else might have happened. She just told me that one specific event. But this one time they did install cameras around, not because of what was going on, but because their own security, because they were kind of known to have some people knew that her dad had money, so like, not that I'm not saying that they were scared or whatever. Burglars. I can't even talk, you guys. I'm just so nervous. But burglars, their house was like on a corner, like it was like that corner house. So like, you know, they were an easy target. So they installed cameras around, and one of them was towards the window. And my friend said that her dad was doing the like regular checkup routine on their camera, see if, you know, anybody has gone near the house, to look, you know, look suspicious, if anybody's checking, you know, to see if the house is alone or something. And he says that this little light caught his attention, and it was a little light on the corner of the window. So he focused and zoomed on it, and he said that the little light lingered on there for like, I don't know, 30 seconds. And then the little light started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it took form of that little girl, and it disappeared. Now, I remember asking my friend, do you have the footage of that? She's like, I'm gonna ask my dad, you know, because I don't know if he has a footage of that. Apparently he did, but I never got to see it. Like, I never got to see the footage, but she saw it herself. He brought in her and her sister to see it, and they were creeped out. They're like, WTF, what? Like, just what the hell is that? You know, like, what is that? How, what are you gonna, what logical explanation are you gonna give to that? Like, what logical explanation will you give to that? Like, none at all. So yeah, you guys, like, ever since then, thankfully nothing ever happened again until like now, as I was trying to film this video, like little things here and there, like little noises. It could just be an energy though, or like the energy of whatever it was. But I mean, like I've told you guys, like, you know, if you guys feel a presence, just tell it to go away. Make sure you let it know it's not welcome. Again, I'm more scared of actual alive people than energies or spirits or whatnot, because these guys are just coming back and forth. They can't even stay. So it's like, I know there's nothing in my house that is like here, I know it could have been something that I might have called right now as I was like retelling the story, but it's gonna go away. It's not gonna, I know it's, I'm just sure, I just feel it like that. So yeah, you guys, my back hurts, like I'm tense, like I'm so, it doesn't hurt, but like I'm tense, like, you know, like that tensity you feel, like you're like if you would have, I don't know, like stiffiness, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm just tense. I really hope you guys enjoyed the story. I hope the haunting of my house was worth it. Please let me know if you guys have any more requests. I have more spooky stories coming up to your way. There's a lot of stuff that I got that not only happened to me, but could happen to my family too, especially my grandma, because I told you guys things followed her. There's something very, very sad and serious I want to talk about before I get into it though. But that'll be another story time. Okay, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the story, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all of you guys that are supporting me and have subscribed to my channel, and those of you guys that like took that time to come here and just to support me and just subscribe. Like I can't even express like how you make me feel, like how amazing this is. Like, this is just more than people subscribing to my channel. Maybe later on I'll open up why it's just more than that, but as in for now, this was today's story time. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and yep, that's it. Take care, you guys. Bye.